Good afternoon, or whatever time zone you happen to be in. How are you doing today? My name is Mark Mandel. I have a dog behind me that I don't know what she's doing. Um, I am a developer advocate for Google Cloud. I'm going to do some fun stuff with infrastructure for games today. I'm going to look at some of the stuff that we're working on with Agones, a open source platform for scaling multiplayer game servers. We're going to update the underlying infrastructure, the underlying open source project, Kubernetes. So, excuse me. Let me actually move this chair. That's better. Okay, excellent. Alrighty, so let's switch over to me and like a view. Okay, sweet. So I'm working on this right here, which is upgrade to Kubernetes 1.12. It's not the latest version of Kubernetes that's usually available on cloud providers. We're supporting like N-1 of what the cloud providers supply. So Azure, pretty much everyone, Azure, Google, and Amazon all supply 1.13 at this point in time. And so we're sort of doing one behind all of that. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. But the bit that we actually care about is this little thing here. So a list of items to do for upgrading to 1.12. Sweet. We can actually start with the GKE stuff. So actually what I'm going to say is, oops, that's not what I want. I'm starting on running on updating the dev, I'll call it the build tooling to create a 1.12 GKE cluster first, mainly so that I can do some local testing to make sure everything still works on 1.12. And I believe that actually Agones does work on 1.12 without any problem, but whatchamacallit, but better to be safe than sorry, I guess, really more than anything else. And just do this first. I wasn't going to update the end-to-end test cluster in case I break things. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start there. So I actually have a cluster here already. It's the standard test cluster we use for development. Yep, there goes my Bluetooth speaker. As you can see here, it's 1.11. I could just upgrade it, but I'd much rather actually have, so what I'm looking for, I would much rather have make sure the tooling all works all the way through and make sure that's okay. So I'm actually going to delete the whole thing. We'll create a whole new one. Actually, you can see I got like 30 nodes on here and stuff too, so it's fun. So what I'm actually going to do is what I'm actually going to do. Let's come over here, and I believe we have a script for this, and I might just use that because that seems like the legit thing to do. So if I look at my makefile, actually, if I look inside my includes, we have a Google Cloud makefile, and inside there we have a clean cluster, and we have what's called a deployment, which is a whole thing inside Google Cloud. So deployments are basically where you want to just put together big groups of stuff. If you like use Terraform or Ansible or stuff like that, it's very similar in nature to that, just with some different principles and stuff. It does the job, which is good. So I can say make gcloud clean. Yes, make clean gcloud distillers. Okay, I would have switch that around, but that's okay. So I'm gonna run that, and that'll run in the background. Yeah, I'm gonna destroy a whole bunch of stuff, and that's gonna take like 5-10 minutes to run in the background. So I'm just gonna let that do that. If we actually have a look over here at our clusters, I think we'll find that they're slowly getting destroyed. Maybe not. Over time they will be. Deleting cluster. There we go. Beautiful. Right. So that's doing the thing it's gonna do. All right. See. So we're blowing stuff up. And what we want to do is update things to be 1.12. Now, here's a couple of interesting things that I actually want to talk about here as well. So some of the settings have changed in 1.12 between 1.11 and 1.12. And I know my buddy Robbie has done some stuff here, even just for 1.12. So here we go. Gcloud containers create, cluster 1.11. So he's got this like no enable basic auth. This used to be like turn on RBAC and all this kind of stuff. Now it's like no basic auth. RBAC is on by default. This all looks pretty good. Okay, so let's see what we have available to us here. So we'll go back over there. That's deleting the background. That's cool. So we have this, nope, that's not what I want. Inside build, we have GKE text cluster. Awesome. And we have cluster yml.ginger. Okay, cool. So this is what's called a deployment template. It basically looks like a big YAML file, right? But with some properties that we've dropped in a few places. Nothing too terrifying in here, I think, already. But I think we can tweak some of these things. And like I can see here, for example, right, so the firewall looks fine, but like we have this username password in here and like legacy ABAC stuff. I don't think we want any of this anymore. So what I will also do is go Google GCP deployment manager. Yeah, that's what we want. And we're gonna there's a thing in here that shows us view documentation. Excellent. We'll see if I get it right. So I'm using references. No. Here we go. Supported resource types. That's what I want. Deployment manager is not bad. Does the job. It's fine. Actually, there's a few new things in here, which is kind of cool. We've actually got Terraform scripts for this stuff as well, but we originally wrote it with deployment manager. It's fine. It does the job. So what I want is, what do I want to call cluster? Container v1 cluster. Perfect. This is what we want right here. We want one of these. So let's go into documentation and see what's the same and what's changed. So I think a lot of this is going to stay the same. So let's have a look. All right. So name of the cluster. That's all fine. Config object. Ooh, what's that? What is this? Node config. Anything we care about in here? Machine type. Oh, I see. Okay. Nothing that I think we care about here. Node config. We have a cluster. We have node pools. We have node configs. Okay, but nothing I think in here. We're not doing SSDs or anything like that. No. That's a node pool. Oh, I've got node pool. I've gone like way too far down the rabbit hole already. Okay, we don't want that. Clusters. Overview. Beautiful. That's better. Okay. Lovely. Node config. All right. So cluster name description. Wonderful. Initial cluster version is not. All sorts of fun stuff in here, right? Like, how do I care about half of this? Initial node count. This is deprecated. Good. We're not using it. Node config. Deprecated. Do we use a node config? We do not. Excellent. Okay, good stuff. Master auth. For clusters, perform which our username will be set to admin around password regenerated. Defaults are used. I assume we want to turn this off. Master auth. Here we go. Username, password. Maybe we don't want to do any of that. So yeah, with what did Robbie write here? So Robbie says no enable basic auth. So how do we do that? So we don't want master auth at all. I think that's what we're saying here, which makes a certain amount of sense. So I'm gonna dump master auth. Say no master auth for you. Service is fine, monitoring service is fine. Network we don't care about. Subnetwork we don't care about. Node pools we've got going on. I might pop that open just to see a few node pools, but I don't think there's anything in here we care about. We're not doing auto scaling, at least at this point in time. This all looks fine. Node configured, node configs. Okay, this is what we saw before. Okay, cool. We don't want an alpha. We don't want resource labels, legacy ABAC. I don't think we want that either. Yeah, that seems like actually something I don't know why that's even a thing, actually. Why do we have cluster legacy ABAC? Where do we have this as a thing? Let's have a look. Just find that. Yeah, find that anywhere. Yeah, I don't think we ever want that. I think that should just go away. Nope. Because what was that? Enables. Here, I'll just pop this over. So it's enable disables ABAC, which you just like, no, we don't want ABAC ever. So let's just kill that with fire. So destroy that. That's good too. What else we got? Let's put that open and we'll get rid of that. All right. Ooh, you know what? Bear with me one sec. Let's switch our layouts over to being. Where are you? Where are you? We want a laptop layout. Excuse me. Now, if I close this project and reopen it, that will be much nicer. There we go. Now, that's still in there, but I'm not going to worry about the Terraform provider for at least this point in time. That's one thing at a time. Okay, legacy ABAC. No, that's not a thing you want. Okay, cool. That seems good. I do want to know. Still config scopes. Yes, scopes is going to be a fun one too. We'll come back to that in a minute. Network config, default max pods, private cluster self-link, zone deprecated, initial cluster version. Right, so initial cluster version, we will want 1.12. So this is nice in here where you don't have to specify the very specific version. You can specify just like a general version. So here we have 1.12. So as that rolls forward, that's okay. Status message, before, current node count, inscript URL, location, conditions. All right, so that seems okay, but I'm very curious about this bit. No enable basic auth. Don't suppose that shows up anywhere. Call it basic auth. Basic. So we've got master. Ooh, what's the maintenance policy? This is also a good question. It's alright. We'll start with this. We may end up tweaking it a little bit, but we'll see how we go. We will see how we go. So we do have a maintenance policy here, right? Like a maintenance window, a daily maintenance window. I actually don't want it to upgrade stuff at all. That would be bad. That tends to be bad for game servers because we don't have control over it, and that would be terrible. No, I was looking at maintenance policy network config. That's location. Oh, I'm in locations. What? No, go away. That's not what I want. Also not what I want. V1 cluster. Zones.cluster? That's fine. Master auth. Can we just like say no to that? Can we just be like, no, it's not a thing? Why let me? Okay. Basic can be disabled by leaving username unspecified or setting it to the empty string. Ah, let's do that. Let's do that. There we go. Beautiful. Auth username empty string. Lovely. Lovely. That should be lovely. That's what we want. Things I also want to do here, I have OAuth scopes. So these scopes specify like what the game servers have available to them and able to do. So at that point, we're inside node pools. So let's have a look at that. Node pools. We have a node pool. Excellent. Now the nice thing is, if you're looking at gcloud for itself, it has this like GKE default scopes. Super nice, right? I don't know if that comes through in the API because basically the deployment manager actually just calls the API. It's nothing more than that. What do we got? Node config. That seems like a good place to look. OAuth scopes. String. All right. What do you say about OAuth scopes? So it doesn't really say anything. GKE default OAuth scopes. Who, does somebody write something? Cool. Access scopes? That could work. So what are access scopes? Blah, blah, blah. Grant the computer access scope. That's fine, don't care. That doesn't seem to be useful. All right. Security, that looks good. Because what do you do? GKE default is scoot. Right, so disable ABAC, right? We've got rid of that. Yeah, that's default anyway. We are definitely not doing ABAC anymore, and that's actually been turned off, but has an option to turn on. Though, like, let's just not have an option to turn that on. That seems ridiculous. I'm not gonna add a service account to my nodes. That's just I think that's not what I need. Default scopes for dev storage, same scopes. These are specified G code. Default scopes are these scopes, which I think is what we have, but it would be nice. I think I'm gonna have to specify all of them. I don't think there's a what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think there's a way of doing that easily. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay. So customer service account, you go default is cute. All right. Sorry about that. Cool. No. Okay. Interesting. It doesn't show up as anything. Scope. Let's see if there's anything else in here. No. Default equals GKE default. So you get, okay, here we go. That's all the GKE defaults. Yeah, see, I can't just do what I want. All right, so let's just actually make sure that this lines up with all the things, and it looks a lot like it does. Dev storage, logging, right, monitoring, service control event. Okay, cool. In which case, then we don't have to touch this. This looks like it's fine. M1 standard 4s. Yep, cool. So what this does is we create a series of node pools. Here we go. That's the initial node count. Okay, that's a property. And then we have an M1 standard 4 for the Agones stuff. Nice. We have some taints for that, so that only that, and we only have one of those. Cool, cool, cool. Metrics, blah, blah, blah. All right, sweet. All right, I think this might be good enough to like actually run and see if it's working. Did that complete? Beautiful, that completed. Excuse me. Oh, little throaty thing going on. So I should have no clusters left. No clusters. Excellent. This all looks pretty good. All right, well, let's fire this up and see how we go. Make gcloud test cluster. So what this does, just so you can see it, all right, so I do a bunch of stuff here, but the part that you care about here is gcloud. Here we go, this bit here. So gcloud, we are running the deployment manager deployment. We're creating this thing called test cluster. It's a deployment. Deployments are nice because you can create them in the destroyment. It pretty much cleans up everything behind it. I don't know, what is my dog doing behind me? We take this Ginger. This thing's actually a template. And we actually pass through all these properties. We can do that dynamically, which is quite nice. So here we're creating one in US West 2B. The cluster name is test cluster. Cluster node pool initial count is 4. Machine type is M1 standard 4s. And you can tweak all this stuff. And so that's going to start creating a cluster right now. So actually, yeah, we can see that coming up as we speak. So that's going to take a little bit to spin up. We'll see how that goes. But that looks like the deployment hasn't failed, which is good. There we go. Let's have a look at our deployments, which is awesome. This also sets up the firewall rules that we want as well, which is super good. So that's running. We can actually go and have a look at the deployment. It's actually kind of nice. We see what it expanded out into. I'm doing well with the coughing. 1.12, right? Like you can see all the machine types, initial node counts 4, etc., etc. That all looks pretty good. So that's all spinning. So we're gonna have to wait for that cluster to spin up. How's that doing? Clusters. Bunch of CPU, excellent. What can we see? What can we see? All right, cluster health checks are running. All right, it's actually I haven't actually created a cluster in a while, so this is kind of neat, just seeing like the lines come up and you can see like, yeah, it's fine. I understand that, you know, that's gonna take 5 minutes. So we're gonna spin this up. See, it's kind of running, which is good. Do we have any nodes come up yet? Nope. All right, so master isn't up yet. So okay, there's a whole thing. All right, so let that run in the background. The thing I want to do next after this one, and I might do it as a separate pull request, is this thing. This is the cluster end-to-end thing, which is basically exactly the same thing. It's just a much simpler version, wherein we create an end-to-end test cluster, and we can do it as 1.12, and we just need to make it bigger, basically. Ooh, but you know what? We can do some of this work, and so I'm gonna. Ooh, I don't know if I can do that, or maybe I can't do that. Well, let's see what. Let's make this feature dev GKE 1.12. That's a good name, and we can commit this work at least. Git add -a, git commit. Why don't we call it something like update development GKE cluster to 1.12. This seemed like the safest place to start. Cool. All right, so that's that. Awesome. Oh, we have a cluster already. Yeah, actually, I came really fast. That was really nice. Cool. How can there be an update available already? Oh, because 113 is available, right? That's fair enough. We're not going to 113. We're going to 112. So, sweet. Make gcloud. We can auth against the cluster. Very important. Give me, so it's going to create the cluster binding. That's just some RBAC stuff that we need to create. That's fine too. Cool. All right, so in theory, all namespaces. And we can see a bunch of stuff, including Prometheus. Really? What is that? Oh, I wonder. Oh, that's Prometheus to stack driver stuff. That's what that is. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's not actually what I want, but that's cool. Actually, since I'm here, I might do some other things, which is make. What do I need to do? I will actually install Prometheus and Grafana. There's make setup Grafana. I think that's what it is. Yeah, there we go. That did not work. Why did that not work? Error when creating industrial location namespace metrics not found. Oh, interesting. Oh, do I need to install it first? What's the setup? The stuff? Yeah, I don't remember. Let's have a look. I may have called the wrong makefile. Entirely possible. Includes website, Windows, Linux, Google Cloud. It might be in here actually. Makefile. Oh, Grafana. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so that's not there. Here's an interesting question. Prometheus creates the metrics thing first. So you have to install Prometheus before you install Grafana. That's what it is. All right. Make setup Prometheus. Do that. And that will create the metrics thing. There we go. I just want to have all the tools. Make sure everything works. And now I can set up Grafana and it won't fail. Lovely. There we go. Sweet. Oh. Always like to have a look. Okay, so that's all working reasonably well. Let's pop over here actually. What is that? All right. Yeah, let's do that. Actually, before I do that, make gcloud auth docker. Cool. So I'm just gonna build the standard, basically what's currently running right now, and push that up. And we'll have a quick poke around and see what's going on. See if anything works or fails or other such fun things. Cool. That's going. Pushing. In theory, this should all still work. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but better to check and make sure. Chug-log, come on. Yeah, could have actually done it here too. It's not a terrible idea. I have an SSH into my work machine at the office, so it's nice. Okay, so this actually might take a little bit just because it's gonna have to create the initial load balancers and other such things. But if we go actually over here, we can go into workloads and we can start looking at what's coming up. Oh, sweet. So the Agones controller is up. That is looking good. Let's actually look at the container logs. That's actually a really good idea. Since we're here and that's still running in the background, I can actually poke around. The integration with the logging stuff in Kubernetes is super nice. That's a red flag. That's nothing that usually comes up. Logging to flag.pass. I don't know why that's there, but anyway, that's fine. That's a thing. Failed. Ooh. Wait, when did this start? Let's say last hour. That's looking better. Okay, so previously I'd done something. Okay, I was like, that seems very strange. Actually, what we could do is actually look at the pod itself. That'll give us a much better indication of specifically the logs for that particular one. There we go, see a little pod ID. And that will be better. Here we go. Yeah, boom, 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 boom. Beautiful. See? Lovely. There should be nothing to log. Nothing to look at. All this stuff is actually JSON. If you haven't looked at it before or haven't looked, it's all a JSON payload. So you can see it all that way. This is still running. I'm guessing it's firing up some, whatchamacallit, services. Where are we? We'll see some of those over here too. Controller service. Yeah, that's working out nicely. Ping for HTTP, the allocator service. Lovely. Yep, and we're done. Okay, beautiful. That looks gorgeous. Awesome. Actually, you know what? Let's actually have a look. Grafana port forward. Let's do that. Localhost 3000. Sorry, no. What is it? Admin. That's the default. Okay. Wow, I really can't type today. There we go. Okay, so that looks like that's up and running. Let's just have a quick peek. There's no data there. That's fine. Actually, let's just do some simple things then. kubectl apply -f example simple UDP fleet. Let's just create a fleet. Do all the usual bits and pieces. I can run some end-to-end tests, which I'm also very happy to do. In fact, I might actually do that. Lovely. We have one that's ready, two that's ready. All right, so this is all doing usual stuff. kubectl get. Oh, there's a fun thing we will want to do, which is update the development tooling to have the what version of the client that needs to happen. Ah, that's a good one. Okay, you know what? While I'm thinking about that, I will add that to the list of things that need to happen. Update documentation, dev tooling, edit, kind, date, kubectl. There we go. That's better. Cool. Okay, so that all looks pretty good. I suppose I could just run the whole end-to-end test, which is like boring, but not unreasonable. What I might do is actually run it from here. Let's just run an allocator test. Actually, that's probably the wrong test to run, but that's fine. That's a more complicated test than some of the other ones. Fleet test probably would have been a really good one to do. But you know what? A test is a test, And look at passes, beautiful. All right, fleet's probably what I really care about. One of these tests has like 100 game servers in it. I think I have enough room in my cluster. I guess we're about to find out. So this looks really good. Seems like everything is running according to plan, so I'm actually quite happy about this. So we can actually have some fun, and we can see the game servers and like all the different tests that are running right now, which is really cool. You can see a bunch of them. They're doing their stuff. There we go, and they're kicking through. Nice. There's my dog. You know, the important stuff. Probably isn't the most exciting thing in the world. Yeah, but sometimes this is what stuff looks like, which is all good. So that's kicking through, it looks like. Lots of game servers. Whoa, what is that? What is that? That's hilarious. Where did that come from? Yep, now it's gone. That's very strange. All right, that was fun. So just perking around. There you go. Someone did that. I'm waiting for that to go away. Yep, there it goes. There you go. That's working, just slowly. I'm willing to bet, here's actually an interesting question. If I go and have a look at my cluster, and I have a look at my nodes, they're probably quite full. Oh no, they're not as full as they could be. They could definitely be more full. Okay, well, not too bad. I'll tell you what I am, since I am in here. Let's go into here. We can scale this up while this is running, it's fine. Defaults. Scale up to like 10 nodes. Oh, I feel like this has changed. Yeah, I feel like this has changed a lot. Go to 10 nodes. It's a good number. Yeah, I feel like this is different. Interesting. Things change. What I want to also look at... Ooh, actually, what I do want to look at is... Alright, so that's resizing. That's great. I want to have a look at the management of this. Zones, blah, blah, blah. Stack driver, legacy, whatever. That's fine. I don't care about the monitoring. It can do its thing. Maintenance window at any time. That freaks me out. That freaks me out a little. I don't like it being able to update whenever it chooses. Kind of don't want it to be frank. That's alright. I will... That's probably not a whole thing that I care about too much, so that's okay. And if I look at here and said, what are the settings in here? Node version 112, number of nodes, auto scaling is off. That's fine. Although it could actually be interesting turning that on because we work really nicely with that. Auto upgrade, disable, and auto repair. Perfect. All right, cool. But so far, everything looks pretty good. Ooh, something failed. Patch. Connection refused. Ooh, so you know what that might have been? I know what that is. Okay, so I was upgrading my cluster at the same time, and I ended up upgrading the cluster master because I made it bigger. That's what that is. Okay, so it's not my test failing, it's just that the master went down while I was doing this. Zonal clusters, that's just kind of how they work. But this otherwise is looking really good. I can't complain too much. Yeah, so if I come over to QCL, get pods, for example. Yeah, see? Can't do it. Sorry, my friend. So, no go. Fun and games. Alrighty. But this is looking pretty good. So far, this seems pretty fine. I'm not seeing anything major. Just waiting for this to come back up. Yeah, so just so you're aware, when you make a bigger cluster, sometimes your master needs to get upgraded, and GKE will just do that for you, which is super nice, except for the fact that it takes down your entire, like if you have a zonal cluster, that master goes down, and there's nothing you can do about it. What does it mean, estimated? The number of nodes is estimated by the number of confusions of the Kubernetes master did not respond. Oh, I see, because the master's down. Got it. All right, I might this seems like it's pretty good. I'm just trying to decide what order to do things in. Yeah, this seems like a good place to start. I would like the master to come back up, and I would like to run some more tests, please. That would make me happy. All right, well, you know what? Since we're doing that, so what I'm also going to do, since I'm waiting for that to work, so we'll come into our build, not into an image, GK to cluster, cluster into end. All right, so we already know that this can be 1.12. That's great. And this is all fine too, but I think I had to do some minor tweaks to this. So let's actually have a look. So we can actually pop over into the Agones project. This is a good opportunity now for us to make any changes we want to make. So this is actually a size 8 cluster. And one stand 4s with number of nodes of 8. Okay, that seems reasonable. Let's grab some more of those. This all looks fine, so that's good too. That all looks fine. Now I feel like I changed the name of the what's what I want? Firewall rules. Actually, you know what? This is way easier. Firewall. That'll do the job. No, I want this one. Firewall rules, VPC network. Beautiful. I think I had reasons and I forget what they were. But GKE game server firewall. Here we go. Beautiful. So here, yeah, we got the indicators cluster. Beautiful. Same thing. Just gonna change the name on that as well. All right, so that's looking good. That's looking good. So that seems pretty good. Do I want to combine these into a singular thing? No, I don't think I do. I'm going to do them as separate PRs. That will make me happy. What do I wrote as one? It might be just easier as one. I don't think that's fine. In which case, if I'm doing that while we're doing all this stuff as well, I come back to my original project. Oh, you're happy now. Good for you. Kubernetes engine. Oh wait, no, sorry. Okay, now you're happy. Yeah, it's gonna complain at me. Low resource request. Good for you. Go away. We were looking at some end-to-end tests. We were looking at the fleet test. think, what was it that was testing? Let's have a look. Alt E. Run. Here we go. Yeah. Jump to source. Let's just run that again. There we go. Let that do its thing. And assume it'll pass anyway. Okay, so while that's doing that, I'm going to do upgrading of kubectl. So that can run down there. That's fine. Build image Docker file. Cloud over at kubectl is on a specific version. Yeah, that's true. 0.12 point. I want to say 10. I think that's right. I'm just picking numbers out of my brain at this point. Oops, what did I just do? Is that a thing? kubectl releases. I'm looking for 1.12.10. There we go. That should be fine. It's 2 days ago, most recent. One day we should update Helm as well. That's a little thing. Cool. So if I exit this, I say make shell. It's doing stuff in the background. This is still doing stuff in the background. There's my dog. Hey, dog.
I know.
That's going to push out a whole bunch of different things. That run in the background. Here we go. That's kicking through. That looks like that's finished and that's finished. That's the next one. These ones take a while. Hey, puppy. I'm going to get leaned on in a minute. Just stuff that takes a little while. Why? All sorts of goodies in here. Oh, very exciting. Ooh, no, you failed. Could not update the scale resource. Use fleet patch. Let's have a look here. Scale fleet sub-resource. Let's have a look at an individual test for that, because I feel like I was gonna say how many replicas do we do in here? Which is probably a good question. It's only 8. It should fit inside my cluster without any problem. Scale up, edit, and scale down. That seems like a valid thing to run. All right. that paused before, though? That's weird. That's genuinely strange. That was pausing before. Where's something simple, fleety? Yeah, I don't care about that. I don't know, something like that. Sometimes the credentials can get a little wacky. Okay, that's fine. Like, that's all fine. Well, I'll tell you what. P fleet.yaml. Oh, 10. That seems whack. Like, that seems fine. Try it again. Oops. That was stupid. Stop that for a sec. Alright. Let's try that one more time. This would be very annoying if it's not working properly. No, it's running. Okay. I was just being weird, I think. Just a rolling update. We are now at the appropriate levels. Good, I now have the right Kubernetes version. Alright, so, while it's doing that in the background, git, yeah, show history is fine. Log. Reword. What do I want to call this? I want to say, oh, where's my line? Oh, there it is. GKE, update development tooling to GKE 1.12. Something. Updated dev GKE dev cluster. End-to-end dev cluster. Templates, deployment manager. And kubectl version. That's better. I don't think that's an unreasonable PR. How's that doing? How many files is that? It's 2 files, 3 files. That's fine. Yeah, that works. Come on, pass. You can do it. There we go. That's looking better. Just being grumpy. Looks good. I feel like... Five past. Excellent. All right, that's starting to look more like no, not project. More like what it should do. I'll run a couple more tests, but I think I'm feeling pretty comfortable about this to the point where I could just be like, all right, let's just run it. Let's make sure allocation works. That's super important. That's usually one of my big ones. Because if you can't allocate, that's really bad, generally speaking. Awesome. That's better. Okay, so that's looking... I'm pretty comfortable about that, actually. I assume all this still works, too. Yeah, it's fine. Beautiful. All right. I am going to make this git push dash u. Oops, sorry. Git push dash u origin feature dev gdk. Lovely. Pull request. Compare pull request. Labels feature. Build tools. Sploot. Work on actually what were we looking at? 12. Kubernetes. There we go. Preview. Lovely. What are we looking at in Splat? That goes away. That changes. That becomes that. That becomes that. That becomes that. We have no legacy AVAC anymore. Go away. Beautiful. Would say I'm going to request Ruby. Or Heart. No, I can't do it on there. Okay. CC Heart Rob Ninja. Do the GKE parameters look good to you here? I ran most of the end-to-end tests on my local development instance cluster, and things look good. All right, that should be good. Works for. Wait. Where'd my type box is? All right, sweet. So I've done that. I probably did that. I haven't recreated the cluster yet, and I've got that. Cool. All right, see what Robbie has to say. That is about an hour. That's actually pretty good. Cool. So, I mean, that's going to run in the background. I mean, there's nothing that should break because there's not actually anything that's being run. At least in theory. I did make a site change. Ooh. Hopefully that shouldn't break anything either. Cool. I think I'll leave things there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will probably stream at some point again in the future. I'm usually kind of random about it, but follow me on Twitter at Neurotic. Follow me here at Twitch, Mark Mandel, or on YouTube as Mark S. Mandel. And just kind of potter about on Kubernetes and game server stuff and multiplayer stuff and a lot of Go and other such things. All right, cool. Otherwise, I will say a very quick goodbye to everybody. Good to see you all again, and thank you all for listening. And I'll catch you all later.